This summer will be 3 years that I've owned my Steam Deck, and this week is actually the 3-year anniversary of its release. So is the Steam Deck still holding up and good? Kyo, welcome back to Cozybichota. My name is Natalia if you're new here, and if you're not, bienvenidos. The Steam Deck released in February 2022 with LCD models of different memory sizes, and since then has come out with different editions such as the OLED and even a special edition white one. So 3 years later, is the Steam Deck still worth it? As with certain consoles, as time goes by, they might not have the same feeling to them. They might run a little bit slower. You might not see the same performance as you used to, especially when comparing it to newer consoles that have different performance to them. So is it still a good idea to get a Steam Deck? As a primarily cozy gamer, having a Steam Deck really did change my way of playing games. I do have a Nintendo Switch, but a lot of games tend to only be PC exclusives, and so I would miss out on being able to play them as someone that only had a Mac for the longest period of time. And Macs do get the occasional release of games, but not always, and sometimes they don't have the same type of performance as maybe on the PC. So ever since getting my Steam Deck, the possibility of playing Steam games really increased for someone like me, and so I had the possibility of checking out a lot of exclusives at the time, and also setting it up to make it feel like I was playing a PC game. One thing that I really love about the Steam Deck is that if you dock it up, and I have a pretty basic dock. I don't have the official one by Valve, but this is the dock that I use. I've never had an issue with it. It'll be almost a year now that I've had it. The dock that I had before that was a flimsy one that the wire ended up ruining after some time. I had to twist it, get it into weird angles just to get it to actually read my Steam Deck. This one I've had no issues with. I can even connect my Nintendo Switch, and it's got ports if I want to put in any USB devices. And with the whole notion of it feeling like a PC game, if I have it connected up to a monitor or maybe to my television, I can actually connect Bluetooth devices to it, like a keyboard, a mouse, maybe even a headset, or use the USB ports in the dock to be able to read any of those devices, so I can play it in a more PC mode, especially games that might not have a verified check to them and actually have some functionality that is best with keyboard and mouse. I also have the aux in it as well and have been able to easily connect headsets that way, or even using USB receivers and connecting it to the USB-C slot on the Steam Deck. So in terms of all the things that I can add to it to make it feel like a PC game, that's there, and I really do enjoy that about it. And if I don't want to play it in a PC setting because I really want to enjoy the handheld experience, you do have the whole option of playing it handheld or docking it and connecting a controller to it. I use an Xbox controller. I connect it with Bluetooth, but you can use a USB receiver as well. So I get that nice docked experience and thoroughly enjoy it. Now, I still have my LCD Steam Deck. I did make a video last year, so I will link it at some part of this video so you can look back at it, see if I'm holding up the same review or if anything has changed. And I really don't have too many complaints about the LCD at all. The fan still kicks in and makes a bit of a noise whenever I play certain games, so I am cognizant of that. I did learn through comments though that there are ways to adjust the settings so that you can make the game perform according to how it should perform. So instead of using every single ounce of the Steam Deck's power, I can optimize it to use whatever the game actually needs, so it's not overheating it. I have a 256 gigabyte Steam Deck, so I did get a micro SD to add memory to it, and that's one of the best ways to go about it. You don't necessarily need to get a 512 or a gigabyte Steam Deck if you don't want to. They sell them at a higher memory, so that's a nice addition to it as well, and then you can just add more memory to it so you can save as many games as you need. The nice thing about the OLED models, however, that I do know is that the screen is a lot crisper. There's a little bit of a different positionality with the buttons, but I've heard that it's not that much of a deal breaker, and the overall experience is really nice. It's also super easy to decorate your Steam Deck. You can add cases to it, skins to it, thumb grips, You can get these from Play Vital or Geekshare or different stores and companies alike. I do have a hard shell case on mine, and I did get it in white and purple because I wanted to give it a little bit of a lighter color and feel to it. So that is a possibility with it if you're not the biggest fan of maybe a black or darker console. Also, when I ordered my Steam Deck, it did come with a portable case with it as well, which is really nice so that I had it protected at all costs. However, the device is big and bulky, so traveling with it is not always the easiest thing, and it's not my go-to device if I want to have something to game on the go. Example being on the train, where my train ride to work is slightly over an hour at the minimum, and so I want to have something to entertain me. It's not the easiest thing to carry with you because it is really bulky and takes up a lot of space. So in terms of portability and just being able to take it with you wherever you want to, it's not maybe my number one go-to handheld console. The other thing that I did learn through reading the comments was that you can actually emulate games on your Steam Deck. So if you're someone like me who really enjoys retro games or older games and wishes that I could play them nowadays, but I don't have the console for it, or I don't have the game at all, you can actually do that on your Steam Deck. I, for one, am somebody that does like to enjoy it on the original console that it was released on, because for me, nostalgia gaming is all about the experience as well, but you can emulate, and I think that's a great feature and a fun feature if that's something that you're really looking into. Now, the way that the buttons are placed on the Steam Deck isn't terribly uncomfortable for me, but I know with people that have maybe smaller hands, it might not be the most comfortable, or maybe the placement of the D-pad doesn't make it as easy to play maybe emulated games on it. But if that is not your number one focus for playing games, you're more into the newer games that are coming out, I don't think that's a bad factor at all, actually. So you get used to the way that the layout is. You also have pads on the Steam Deck that you can use as a mouse, and that's a really nice feature for those PC games. So you don't have a mouse, say, a handy or near you at all, but you can actually play a little bit in that PC mode with the way that the Steam Deck's buttons are laid out and with the trackpad on it as well. Now, the Steam Deck I think is a great system for Steam games. For those types of PC games, there are a ton of different handheld consoles that have come out. If you're somebody that's looking into playing Xbox games or maybe expanding the types of PC games that you can play, the Asus ROG Ally is one that is really popular and where you can play a lot of non-Steam exclusive games. The Logitech G Cloud for a lot of people that like to play Xbox games. One thing that I did notice that I was able to do with my Steam Deck was alter a little bit some of the programs that are on it. So I got Minecraft to run on it pretty easily, which is a great thing. I've also been able to get the Epic Store to work on it to play some of the Epic games that I have. So there are possibilities with it. It just takes looking up guides on how to do it and then playing around with your Steam Deck so you can set it up that way. My overall experience with the Steam Deck has been a positive one, so I feel like my reviews tend to keep that up. I really do have that same feeling towards it as I did a year ago, but I've noticed more things that I can do with it. So hopefully the additional things that you can do or the things that I've learned help you in your decision of whether or not a Steam Deck is good. But as of 2025, I still think it holds up really well. And with the way that the Nintendo Switch is not performing at the same levels as I wish it would, I do really find a Steam Deck a huge bonus and addition to my gaming experience. I will encourage you to check out the Steam Deck online and see what you read about it and if it is a console for you, and to also look at other reviews for other handheld consoles such as the Asus ROG Ally and the Logitech G Cloud to see if maybe those fit more your gaming style. You need to think about what kind of games you're playing, what you're looking forward to in a device before you decide to invest in one. But because of the fact that I am primarily a cozy gamer and a lot of games tend to come on either the Switch or Steam, this device works for me to meet my needs. So I hope this video helps you understand how the Steam Deck is holding up in 2025 and some of the things about it. If you have never checked out my other review video, I do recommend checking that one out. Hopefully this video helps you decide on whether or not to get it in 2025. And if you agree with the way that I feel about it, let me know in the comments below. And if you don't, leave a nice comment about why you don't, or what things you wish the Steam Deck had or hope for maybe in a newer model. And for more cozy and gaming content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And from one bichota to another, stay cozy and see you next time. Adios!